Thanks, guys. This is filmed for a live studio audience. Hello, good evening, America. Good morning, America. I said good evening, even though this is a morning coffee pod. That's so embarrassing. Um, Today we have an episode for you guys. I can guarantee that this is an episode of a podcast. Um, Today I'm drinking something boring, peppermint tea and water because I'm literally sick again. It's like every couple episodes is like when I get sick again. Because yesterday Neva and I went to the hot springs and like I didn't drink any water because we're like in a hot tub, you know? And like like when you get dehydrated and you're like in the heat and then you just like get sick and your throat hurts and stuff and it's like the worst experience of your life. That's what's happening to me right now. So so I'm sick again. So that's cool. Um I just like I don't know how to strengthen my immune system because growing up I was always told like the more you get sick, the stronger your immune system is because like you're building more antibodies, I guess, but I'm literally get sick every 3 weeks and I don't think that's a sign of a good immune system. So, but then also like people always have told me like, oh, those myths about eating vitamin C, it's a myth. It doesn't strengthen your immune system. Like I read a whole book about like how all those books are like myths, how all those things are myths. So I don't know how to strengthen my immune system because I'm getting really sick. I'm getting really sick of being sick, you guys. That's all I gotta say. Um, my voice is like so scratchy, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk for a whole 40 minutes. Um, but you never know what I'm capable of, as we saw in the last episode. Um, a lot of people liked my performance, and I just want to say thank you. I'm a performer, you guys. Like at heart, I am a performer, and that stems from the movie Dear Dumb Diary, which I wanted to briefly talk about for a second. I watched this movie again 2 days ago. Like that movie is just so good. It literally shaped who I am today. Um, I watched it like all the time in like seventh grade. Dear Dumb Diary. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's like on Tubi. That's where I watch it. It's just such a good movie. And like I know all the lyrics to all the songs. I'm a performer. Hudson Rivers is the eighth cutest guy in my school. Um, I won't go into the whole song for you guys. That'll be like a once in a while kind of treat that I'll give you, you know? Um, but that movie is just so good and like it shaped who I am today and like um the main character in that movie is just like so like Jamie, and I think her real name is Emily Lind, I think is her name. Um she's just like bodied that character for real. Isabella, horrible person though. Like if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it and then you'll understand like what I'm saying, but like I don't understand how Jamie just forgave Isabella so fast. Like, okay, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, bow, 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 bow. Spoiler alert. Like, Isabella literally made up a charity. Like, she made up a charity and then used the money to buy herself contacts. And it's like, she didn't even apologize for it. And it's like, sorry, we are just supposed to forgive her? Like, no. She was such a bitch. I probably shouldn't be calling children bitches, but that's who we are on the MCP, you know? Um, but yeah, that movie is just like so good. I used to, when I was a kid, I was very insecure. Okay, as I'm sure we could guess. I'm sure we could guess that as a child I was a little bit insecure. Um, and like, I don't know, I didn't really like have any confidence at all. So I'd watch these movies like Dear Dumb Diary or Jessica Darling's It List. I used to watch that a lot. Just like kind of like middle school movies like that. I used to watch them like all the time. Like I was like obsessed with them, right? Um, because I like would wish that my life was like theirs. Like it was very like toxic in a way that like I would become obsessed with it, like hyper obsessed with these like movies that I would watch and I would like try to be them so bad, but it just like it I wasn't like being my own person. I was like trying to be someone else. Um which I think is like I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. But I think like I used to I used to look up on WikiHow how to be a typical teenage girl because I used to want to be like like the it girl or something. Like I used to like want to or not the it girl, but I used to want to be like the like underdog, that like people don't really realize at first, but then they like do something crazy and like they're like actually super hot and stuff. I used to want to like be that so bad. Um, I mean now I am, so applause and cheers to me. Um, but like yeah, I used to like get really depressed all the time and like because I wouldn't be like that kind of girl and like in Dear Dumb Diary, like Jamie has like closets full of clothes, like she has so many, and I used to always wish that was me, but like I was never like in a financial position that I could like have that many clothes, and like I was like a kid, so I was too young to work for the money myself, right? Um, so I never like could have that many clothes, but I always like wish that I did. And I think that now that I'm older, even though I'm not like rich, like I make my own money, I can choose what I spend my money on. And now I have like a whole bunch of clothes and it's amazing. It's great. But then it's also like, I don't know, sometimes I feel kind of bad because I feel like I'm wasteful. Um, like because I always like knock on fast fashion brands for like, you know, obviously being harmful to the environment, like not treating their employees well and everything like that. And like, you know, if you like look at an item of clothing, like you can just tell that it's fast fashion, right? Like I go to Value Village and I like see a shirt and I'm like, that's like too trendy to not be Shein. You know what I mean? But then like I think about me and like how I like will go thrifting and like sure thrifting is like a great way to be sustainable. But I'll go thrifting and I'll like get a bunch of stuff and then I'll wear it like once for an Instagram picture and then I won't wear it again and then I'll just give it to a thrift store. It's so I feel like it's just like this like cycle of like not getting use out of the things that I own. Like not getting good use out of the things I own. Like obviously I have a few staple pieces like this jacket for example. I wear this jacket like literally every day. So it's like this was a good purchase, but like certain things that are like on my Instagram, it's like I just wore it for that one picture and then I don't really ever wear it again because it's like some pieces are can only be styled like one way. So sometimes I like feel kind of bad about that. Um but like and like some people have like told me that I'm wasteful and like, I'm just like contributing to like the landfills of like clothes, or like this like overwhelming surge of environmental defects in like that are like related to fashion. Um but then I think like this is like my hobby. Like everyone has their hobby. Like fashion is my hobby and like sure it's like kind of materialistic to be like shopping is my hobby, but it's not necessarily shopping that I love so much. It's like styling my clothes and like putting together like a cool outfit. Like even though I've worn this outfit multiple times, I'm wearing my zebra print pants, gray hoodie, jean jacket. It's like simple, but it's also like cute, right? And it's like even though I've worn this outfit before, it's like just like me putting together this outfit like makes me happy, and I like styling and I like doing all these things. Everyone has everyone has their hobbies that they love, right? Like for example, if I was a painter, then it's like my waste contribution would be like when I am finished with like the little paint tubes. Like sure that's creating garbage, but it's like everyone I feel like everyone has like their hobbies and like that's fine and like that's great. Um it's not like I'm those people that are buying like $1,000 worth of Sheen and then just like throwing it all away. Like I'm not doing that. Um so I feel like I don't know. It kind of like leads me into another thing that I wanted to talk about, which is like the fact that everyone is just like so mad now online, and it's kind of like so exhausting to like listen to and consume. Like the media that I've been seeing, like I just FaceTimed with Carissa before I've been recording this, um, and we were talking about how like people online are constantly like bringing other people down, and it's just like not a fun like atmosphere to like indulge in, because like I'm sorry, but when I go on Instagram, it's like to relax or like wind down or something, you know? Like I don't want to be constantly like I don't want to be given content that's like, why is this person doing this? Like why is this person doing this? You know, like so judgmental all the time. And I've made it like an active habit of mine in like this past year. It is like it's December, you know. I've been like reflecting on my last year, and I've tried to be like less judgmental with other people's like life choices, because like, you know, I don't know, I've seen lots of things online recently, like for example, people will be like, I hate seeing couples on my timeline. You know, like I hate it. Like why do you have to be happy? And it's like I get that it's like a joke, but it's also like not. Like I feel like if you post something like that, it's like yeah, okay, it's funny and it's a joke, haha, but it's also like you actually feel that way. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. And it's like, why do we have to be so negative all the time? You know, like at the beginning of the year, I would have been like, I would have agreed. I would have been like, ew, don't post your relationships online, even though I was in a relationship at the beginning of the year and I did post it online sometimes. But that's the thing too. It's like people will post things like that, and then the second they get into a relationship, it's like that's all they post about. You know what I mean? And it's like, why can't you just be happy for people? Like everyone's so mad all the time now. And it's like, if I see a happy couple on my timeline, I'm not going to be like, ew, why isn't that me? You know? I'm going to be like, oh, slay, I'm happy for them. They're living their best life, you know? Like, good for them. I'm not talking into my microphone. I hope you guys can, like, still hear me. Um, but you know, it's like, I don't know why people have to be so mad all the time about, like, what other people are doing with their lives. And I think that it's just because, like, all people do now is, like, go on social media, and, like, it's kind of the only thing. And, like, eventually it rots your brain and makes you, like, a miserable person. So, like, maybe that's why. But I don't know. I don't want to live like that, you know? I feel like it's exhausting to be that mad all the time. It's just like, why can't you just be happy for people, you know? And, like, let people do what they want, let people post what they want. And, like, I'm trying to think of another example of, like, what I've seen, because I've seen, like, a lot of negative media recently, or just, like, people, like, even just, like, comment sections in general, like, just judging people for, like, what they're doing, you know? And obviously, like, if someone actually does something bad, then yeah, okay, we should hold them accountable. We should, you know, like, like, yeah, I guess just like hold them accountable for that action. But I'm talking about like harmless things, like posting about your, relationship online, or like why can't I think of one other example? Or like, I don't know, just like posting about your life, you know? Like, I don't know. I just feel like even like some people like have been posting like their cars or something, and it's like ah, you know. I don't know. It just makes me sad because like you're constantly like being given this media that's like negative, 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 judgmental, judgmental, and it's like the more you consume, like the more that you're gonna like project those sort of feelings in the real world too. So I don't know. I just think that we should all be nice, and everyone should just let people like post what they want, I guess. Let people live their lives, you know. Why do we have to be so judgmental all the time? Um, but I guess like you could just flip this around on me and be like, "Well, Leah, you're judging people for judging people. Like just let people post what they want." And it's like, okay, I guess free speech is the thing, but I don't know. I feel like free speech should be allowed as long as it's not harming other people, unless they deserve it. Like if they actually do something bad, I mean, like a crime or something, or like, say something that's like really disrespectful. Okay, judge them, hold them accountable, right? I don't know. I just don't think that we should be constantly in this loop of like making people feel bad about their action, or like making people feel bad about just like the way that they live their lives. Even like the whole Visco girl thing in like 2016. it's like those girls are just living their best life. Like the internet loves to hate women. Um, because even like sometimes I'll post things on my story and I'll be like, no one cares about this. Like, why am I posting this? But that just like makes it more fun, honestly, to post things that I know that people don't care about. Because it's like, I don't know, isn't that like what the whole point of social media is to like, it's like be real, You're just posting about like what you're doing. Um, and I just feel like we're at a point now where like social media has become like so serious all the time and like people can only post like super good high quality pictures. No, if I want to post 10 pictures of the mountains in one day, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, you can unfollow me. Um, or it's like, I don't know, like what's like an example of something that I've posted on my story that's like no one cares about it. You know what I mean? Like there's been so many. Even just like I don't know, like when I posted when I worked at like that clothing store and I posted like all my mannequin displays, it's like I don't think anyone actually cares about this, but I think it's cool, so I'm gonna post about it? Or just like you could say this about anything. Selfies. Is do people care to see your face? Maybe not, but like you look slay, so I think that it's fine to do that? I don't know. I just think that like we just need to be nicer to people. Kindness is the key to a happy life. It's what you give, you receive. Um, yeah, I don't know. I hope that that like made sense, but I don't know. I just don't think that we should be judgmental on social media. I think that it's toxic for us. It's toxic for the people you're making fun of. Like it makes them feel bad. It makes you feel bad because you're judging other people, bringing other people down, ruins your mood as well. It's just a lose-lose situation. So, hashtag hashtag kill him with kindness by Selena Gomez. Kill him, kill him, kill him with kindness. Um, that's what I gotta say. I also think that people like to hate on other people who are happy, and that's my hot take. Like, if if you like see another happy person online, because it's like it's just constantly comparison, right? Like it's the same thing if you see like a hot person online, you're like, fuck you. I wish I was like that? And it kind of links back to like the couples thing that I was talking about earlier. It's like you see someone who's happy, who's living their life, and you just want to hate on them for doing so because it's cringe or something? And like, I don't know. It's like kind of weird. Like people just love to prey on your downfall. And like, because I've gotten hated on in the past for like posting things that are like my captions. Sometimes they'll be like for example, my last Instagram photo. It was like, I think it should be a crime to not do a double take when people walk past me? And it's like, okay, I'm jokingly like full of myself, but it comes from a place of like love because I do love myself now after like years of not, after years of like, not liking myself at all, hating myself, whatever. I finally love myself and now I want to like spread this love out in the world. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that it's like, I think I've talked about this before in my podcast, but it's like when you're constantly like consuming media that's like self-deprecation humor, you start to like think that. Like in like eighth grade, seventh, eighth grade, I was always like, oh, like if I made the smallest mistake, I'd be like, oh my God, I hate myself. Like, oh my God, I'm the worst. And it's like you say that thing like over and over and over again, and like you're gonna start to believe it? So I saw this like post on Tumblr or something in like eighth grade, and it was like instead of self-deprecating, be like overly confident or something. So like instead of if you mess up, instead of being like, oh my God, I hate myself, I'm the worst person in the world, be like, I'm such a great human being. Like look at me, look at what I just did? Like, wow, I'm such a good person, for doing this mistake. And it's like funny, but it sort of like switches your mindset into being like more positive and like less hateful towards yourself and therefore less hateful towards other people as well. Because I was mean to people because I didn't like myself? It's like it's a cycle. It's literally a loop. Um and so I think that like there's a fine line between loving yourself and like, narcissism, sure, but also like, you know, like sure, I love myself and I think that I'm like an awesome person and I think that like, you know, I have lots of love to give to the world. I have lots of like fun, lots of like I like my personality. I think I'm like a fun, energetic person, you know. I don't think I'm unattractive. I'm not saying that I think I'm like super hot and like super sexy, but like I don't think I'm unattractive. Like I think I'm like pretty okay. You know what I mean? Um and like that's okay because for me personally, like just because I think I'm a good person and I think I'm like have all these great qualities that make up who I am, I don't think of myself as like above anyone else because of that. And I think that that's the difference between like loving yourself, being a good person, being genuine, and then like someone who's like a narcissist or an arrogant person, right? Is because like I like a lot of people have been like, Leah's like you're such a narcissist, like people talk shit about me sometimes and they're like, she's such a narcissist, she's so full of herself, like why is she like that? And I'm not. Like I think it's okay to be full of yourself. Like why shouldn't it be? As long as you're not bringing other people down, like it's not like I'm hot and you're super ugly, you know? Like I would never say that to someone because that's mean. I think that it's like as long as you don't bring other people down, as long as you don't think of yourself as like above anyone else or like think of yourself as like superior to anyone else, then it's fine. And I think that you should embrace, you know, who you are because everyone is like so different. Everyone likes different things. Everyone, has different looks, has different styles, and that's like sort of what makes, everyone unique, and that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, people are so quick to judge other people for being happy, for being who they are, but I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, if they're not doing any harm to other people, like why is it a problem? I don't know. I hope that like I'm not just like saying something that like no one agrees with. I don't think I am. Even if I am, I don't care. I just think that we should all be kind and we should all, be who we want to be, feel safe with no judgment, um, and everything. The world would be a happier place to live in. Um, because yeah, like I don't know, I don't know. Maybe I do have a big head. Maybe I am too full of myself. Maybe, but I don't know. I'm happy. So is that the trade off? Like, um, sorry, I went on like a huge rant there, but I've just been thinking about that recently. Because it's like it makes me not want to go on social media at all, which is like probably a good thing. um, I don't know. It's like and like I admit like I have fallen into the loop of like again being judgmental like when I was younger, like seventh, eighth, ninth, even like 10th grade. Um, like I was really just like projecting my insecurities onto everyone else and like I wasn't a good person. And I'll admit that, like I was rude to people. I was like just mean in general. Like I wasn't a good person to be around. I wasn't fun. I was like kind of introverted. Like I didn't really put myself out there at all. Also, I said that I was into fashion, but I like didn't dress really that well. I'm just judging my past self. This is like so hypocritical. But um, I'm not gonna do that. Past Leah was Past Leah's fashion was fun. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about personality. And then come like pandemic lockdown 2020 era, um, I like kind of started to work on myself more because it's like I don't know, I'd feel like guilty. Like I'd like say something mean to someone and then I'd like feel really guilty about it later and I'd like overthink it because I have anxiety and then I'd be like, okay, now I'm gonna start being nicer to people and then the next day it would all happen again. Like and then come like the pandemic lockdown, I was like, okay, now I can actually work on myself because I have the time to because I have nothing else to do. Um So I like, started working out, started and then like I think that as like I started to become more confident in my appearance, then I was like less insecure in that way, so it kind of helped me, change like my mindset as well. Also, like in 8th grade, like I was trying to like be like I saw that post on Tumblr I said about like changing your mindset. So then like I guess I just like rethought about that when I was like working out and like doing all these things in the lockdown. I was in grade 10 in the lockdown for context. Um then I think that it was like more okay. Um because again, like I was just more confident in me, and like I was happier in general. Um but yeah, I just like I wasn't a good person and I feel really bad about it. Like sorry to other people who I was mean to. I feel like I like to think that I like have made up for it for like some of them, but like I mean after like elementary school, middle school, whatever, like I moved across the country, so it's like I never really got to see anyone else from like that era of my life, which is kind of sad, but I try not to think about it too much because I try to look at the positives. Um but like I think that it's if you learn from your mistakes when you're a kid, like I mean that's the best time to make mistakes and like be a bad person is when you're a child because you don't know any better. Like I like to think that now, like I'm heading into the 19th year of my life. Not really. No, I'm not actually. I'm 8 months away from that. Um, I'm heading into this I guess new era of my life where I'm like more independent on my own. And I'm grateful for like the past experiences that I've had because it's like made me into the person I am today, right? Because now I value kindness, I value being nice to people, I value like making myself happy, you know, all these things that I wouldn't have known if I like, you know, wasn't that kind of person when I was a kid. If that makes sense. It's not like I was like a menace either. I'm like making myself out to be like a crazy, crazy menace child, but I wasn't. I was just like, you know, everyone goes through like a moody, emotional, teenage, pre-teenage, you know, era. I feel like. Um, I was also really mean to my parents. So if my mom and dad and my stepdad are watching this, I'm sorry, you guys. Same with my brothers. I was mean to my brothers too. Again, I like to think that I've like tried to make up for it, but you know, there's only so much you can do at a time. Like, yeah. Um, but I like to think that I've grown. I'm a different person now. And again, like now I value all these different qualities in me now. So that's good too. Um, and like how do I say this? Um, it's like I also think that like the people you surround yourself with obviously contribute to like who you are, and like I don't know, because I just like watch all these movies and like wish that I was these girls and like tried to make my whole life revolve around them and like not be my own person, didn't explore myself, was depressed. It was just not a good era of mine. I keep saying that word, era. It describes this very well. Um, I have to pee so bad, so I'm gonna take a little pee break and then I will be back in a short second. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. My bladder is empty, and we can continue. Um, so yeah, that was like a bit about my past self, a bit about like how I feel about social media, how I feel about everything, just in general. Um, I hope that like for future me, um, I'm wearing my AirPods. I hope that like my mic on my laptop picks it up. um, I I think that like for 2023, I'm gonna like continue this sort of like self-love train because it really like kicked off, I'd say, in like April. Um, is like when like you really start to like work on yourself, prioritize yourself. And I think that sometimes like people people like the word like selfish is always like has like a negative connotation to it. And like as it should, you know. Like it's always good to like put others before yourself. But I think that like there are some times in life where you have to like realize that, you know, like you also deserve happiness and like you can't just always put others before yourself, you know? And I'm not meaning like I'm not talking about like backstabbing people and like putting yourself before them. Obviously not. I just mean like prioritizing yourself sometimes, you know? Like not taking on extra work or something. I'm talking about like that. Because sometimes you have to be selfish in order to become a better person. You know, you have to like spend time for yourself, taking care of yourself, doing what's right, what's best for you instead of another person or like other people, like another group of people or something. Um, but I think in 2023, I think I haven't really been like a New Year's resolutions person in the last couple years, you know. I understand the idea and how the new year can bring like motivation, I guess, to like do these things that you want to do. And I'm totally like down for that, you know? That's great. If it motivates you, then amazing. But also like for me personally, I'm like if I want to change something about myself, I'm not going to wait to do it in January. You know, I'm just going to try to do it now. Um so I haven't really been like much of a New Year's person, but I like resolution wise. But I guess like in terms of goals for the new year, like it's only December 6th, so I have lots of time to think about this, but I'm thinking like, you know, continue to love myself, spread my happiness, spread my positive mindset to the world now. I'm making myself out to be like a crazy like wizard or something. Like it's like I still get negative thoughts. I still get judgmental thoughts. I just like I try to when those come into my brain, I try to like push them away, turn it into something positive, right? Like for example, sometimes like I'll see someone on the street wearing like a mismatched outfit. That's my opinion, that's mismatched. And I'll be like, "Oh, why are they wearing that?" But then I'll catch myself thinking that and then I'll switch it around and be like, "No, you know what? Slay. They look great." I like I'm sure that when they got dressed this morning, they were like, "I look so good." And I love that confidence. You know, I love that. I love that people can have their own style, you know? So I don't think that like you're a bad person if you have immediate judgment thoughts about someone, but I think that what determines like how your mindset is like what you do after that, like after that thought, what you do with it. Do you continue to think about it or do you try to change it into something more positive, right? Um, so I'm just wise above my years, you know, no big deal. But in terms of like New Year's things that I'm gonna try to do, continue self love. Um, what else do I want to do? I want to like pick up a hobby, another hobby. You know, like sure, like fashion, styling, whatever is like a hobby of mine. Clothes. I like to read. Like, I don't know. I bought an electric guitar. Maybe I'll like try to learn it. I definitely won't because I don't have my guitar with me here. Another goal of mine to move to Montreal in 2023. Either move to Montreal or just get like a fashion internship in general. I'm gonna apply to an Aritzia fashion internship in January, for like May, June in Vancouver. So hopefully I get that, or hopefully I get one that's like in Montreal or something. Um, what else do I want to do in 2023? Make some slay Instagram posts. Um, maybe I'll become an influencer in 2023. You never know, you know? Um, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do exactly. All I know is that hopefully it'll be a good year. I think it will be. I think it'll be a good year for me. Um, I'm hoping, cross my fingers. That's what I said about 2020. That's COVID jokes are so outdated. Like literally, when anyone mentions the pandemic, I'm just like, shut up. You know, that's like me and myself right now. No, no, I'm valid in the things that I say. Um, but like, I don't know. Anytime like someone mentions the pandemic, I'm just like, move on. Come on, talk about something else. You know what I mean? Like, shut up. I just talked for like 40 minutes about how we should be kinder to each other and how we shouldn't judge other people for what they say if it's not harmful to anyone. And then I just spend the last 5 minutes of my podcast talking about people and how they should shut up. And that's the MCP. We're constantly switching up positions for you. Um, yeah. So that's what I gotta say about that. Like the podcast's only like 37 minutes, but honestly, like I think that that's a good chat. Like I don't want to like force any other conversation. Um, but yeah, so let me know if you guys agree with the things that I said, disagree. If you disagree, that's fine. We can have a conversation about it. Um, I'm gonna go work on my final fashion school projects because my last classes are this weekend next week. And I'm gonna get a iced latte with almond milk because I've been into London Fogs, but also like I haven't been drinking like coffee at all, and so I'm starting to get a little bit of craving for it. Yesterday I was like talking to Neva, and I was like, I don't want to bring my espresso machine from Vancouver here because there's not enough space for it. Like, because I have a lot of people living in my house, right? There's not enough space for an espresso machine because it's huge, and like I don't like instant coffee. I was like, what am I gonna do? And she was like, what about French press? And I was like, you are queen for that. I forgot about French press. So hopefully I get one for Christmas. Fingers crossed. Um, and then I'll be able to get back on my coffee grind. But until then, you know, we're drinking our water, we're staying hydrated. If you're listening to this, go get a tall glass of ice cold water and drink it. Um, or some peppermint tea that is like so cold. And I hope that you guys are healthy, have good immune systems because I can't relate. Um, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay because it's like I eat healthy. I eat healthy. I exercise. I like do all these things. I stay hydrated. What more do you want from me? You know what I mean? Why am I getting sick? And why do I get sick every month? That's what I want to know. Like this can't be good. Maybe I have like some sort of like disease. I don't know. um, but anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your morning. Get a fun little drink for me. Send me your thoughts on this episode. Yeah. And last thing I gotta say, Hudson Rivers is the eighth cutest guy in my school. He may not be Einstein, but I think he's nobody's fool. You might say, go for 1, 2, or 3. I think 8 is my place. He's more than just a number to me. Love you guys. See you later.